Welcome back. So it's been a while since I did a photo purchase, a larger purchase of photographs. So there was one image that kind of was the catalyst for this whole purchase, but there's a great stack of images, um, and the nice thing with collecting this aspect of the game and of players and for the PC is each one of these photos was ranged from $8 to $12. Only one of them I paid 12 on. Everything else was either $8 or $10. So if you really want to add to your collection, try and look at some photos. See if it appeals to you. Easy to store if you just get some nice sleeves, backers, get a binder, and it can really be a fun way to look at to cover a player or a team, etc. So starting off something a little bit different, we have Jimmy Fox and an individual from Mexico taken in Baltimore. So interesting kind of mishmash of politics and baseball and just I don't know. It's interesting to see kind of the big stars of the time, kind of where they go, what they do, and kind of the people they're photographed with. So, for Jimmy Fox for $8, I jump on that. This is an interesting, and I really enjoy this image. 1958, Gil Hodges, um, still with the then Los Angeles Dodgers, shortly after their move. Um, there's many pictures of him holding three bats in his hands. Just a big man. Um, but this one having his kids kind of hanging on him in the background, I just thought was a absolutely fantastic image. The smile on his face, just there's personality, there's life in this photo beyond just what he does on the baseball field. So interesting picture of the original before Brooks Robinson human vacuum cleaner. Next up is an interesting image of Max Baer, who was the world champion at the time, and his younger brother Buddy Baer. And it's always fun when they have the little clippings on the back. A kind of a training image, but also just an interesting one between the siblings. Because contrary to his portrayal in Cinderella Man, Max Baer was quite the interesting character and had quite the personality, and had a playful, jovial side to him that unfortunately, because of his early passing, didn't really come out. And this is a great photo because this is earlier 1934, within a couple days of him defeating Primo Carnera for the heavyweight championship of the world. This is him recovering in the hotel, taking phone calls. Face is still battered and swollen, and he's laying there with his agent by his side, taking calls in 1934. So, really interesting image there. Next up, you Yankees fans may be familiar with this player, and really baseball fans likely are too. But on the left is Ron Blomberg, the Yankees' bonus baby in the late 60s, who became the first designated hitter in Major League Baseball history. Didn't have an incredibly long career, but was one of the Jewish players that is actually quite active, signs quite a bit, and does a lot of speaking engagements these days. I was actually part of the Israel Baseball League during its brief period of existence. So now we have a nice sequence of Al Rosen photos. So this is him trying to stretch a double into a triple and being tagged out by the Philadelphia Athletics second baseman. So nice little action shot during a game. And this is another one of those really kind of fascinating human images. This is Rosen during the off season. He's from Florida, and obviously one of the neighborhood boys who he was giving a few tips to. So just one of those fascinating kind of behind the scenes photos of a major league player. And here we have Rosen and Bob Lemon. Rosen looks like he just got in a fight, which is, possible. He was a boxer, and he did kind of drop hands with a few people over his career. And it very well may have been following this particular instance. Doubt it, different uniform, or a similar instance, I should say. This is 1951. Rosen with blood all over his shirt, coming out of the game because he just broke his nose for the 11th time. And it is documented, interestingly enough, in the newspaper clipping is attached to the back. So, very interesting image. Think about a player today breaking their nose 11 times during their career. They'd probably give up before he did. All right, so now we're going to get into some Greenberg photos. So this is a fun one. This is 1955. And as is written up in the bottom, this is Ralph Kiner on the right. Immediately following his retirement from the Cleveland Indians, took a position as general manager of the San Diego team of the Pacific Coast League. And he is speaking with Greenberg, vice president of the Cleveland Indians, on the left, and Buzzy Bavasi, the vice president of the Brooklyn Dodgers, in the middle. So it's really kind of it's fascinating because it's a real kind of point in time for these individuals, but also for baseball. Because you have a Hall of Famer who just retired, going to be in the GM for San Diego, later to become a major league team. Another Hall of Famer and best friend as VP of the Indians, and the VP of the Brooklyn Dodgers, who would very soon thereafter, in 1958, become the Los Angeles Dodgers. So kind of a fascinating image, a casual image of the three of them. So this is actually the photo that started this whole buying. So this is during Ralph Kiner's wedding, at which Hank Greenberg was the best man. And I found this because I knew Greenberg was his best man, but I simply searched for Kiner's wedding, or Kiner wedding, or something like that, basically into eBay, hoping to pull up a photo. And I figured there was a shot that there might be Greenberg in it. So this particular photo popped up. And the interesting thing is, this particular seller, who I got all these photos from, has noted Greenberg in many different photos. They just didn't mention him in this one, which was odd, but a happy accident for me. So this was the most expensive photo. This was the first one I put an offer in just to get it, $12. And everything else was kind of add-on, so I went $8 to $10 depending on what the starting price was. Just anywhere from $15 to $20. And I've bought from this particular seller many, many times before, so I had an idea of what they might accept. So again, interesting image, 1951, of Ralph Kiner at his wedding with his best man, Hank Greenberg, side by side. Just a really great image, kind of outside of baseball for the two of them. And then we go back in time a little bit for the last photo. This is taken in January of 1947. And I love the write-up on the bottom. The image is fantastic because you have Greenberg sitting there in a suit holding both a first baseman's mitt and an outfielder's glove. But when you look at the bottom and the write-up here, it's basically shortly after he was traded, or sold, I should say, to the Pittsburgh Pirates from the Detroit Tigers. And he's trying to decide whether he wants to do it. At the same time, he's expecting to be a father within 2 days. So it really is a moment in his life. A lot of things, different things are changing, happening. A lifelong Tiger being shipped off to Pittsburgh. He would play there obviously for one season in 1947 and then retire. But also his personal life, having his first child. It's really again, one of those wonderful images that there's a lot of humanity in the picture and in the person there. There's just a whole lot of different things going on, which is one of the fascinating things with photos, vintage photos, and collecting them, is you can really see a little bit more behind the scenes from the diamond, and kind of get a glimpse into both their lives, and what they may be thinking, and sometimes before and after their careers. It's just a fun thing, at least for me, and very inexpensive, especially compared to what prices are doing everywhere else. So those are the images I have for you. A nice little stack, a very inexpensive stack. Again, this being the most expensive image at $12, and everything else being either $8 or $10. So again, I encourage you to at least take a look and see if it's something that is of interest to you. Just like you would with cards, getting top loaders, penny sleeves, and the like. This is, you just have to get some basically sleeves, some cardboard backers, which are not really required, but they're nice, and a binder. And you can have quite an interesting little collection of a player, or a team, or an era, or an event. And yes, there's images you can spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on, but then there's images you can spend $8 to $10 on. So that's what I got for you this time around. Until next time, please remember to collect what you enjoy what you collect, and don't let anybody, especially the market or a YouTuber, dictate that to you. And most importantly, have fun. And have fun by being active in this community. So find your way of participating, whether it's making videos, watching and commenting, going to live streams, group chats, going to LCS for the local card show, or simply talking about the hobby with family and friends. The more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. The more you'll learn, the more your PC will grow, the more people you'll meet, and the more fantastic friendships you'll form. So I thank you very much for joining me. Hope to see you again. Have a good one, and bye for now.